This one's gonna work better like this. Okay, something like that. Now, get it on here. And okay, go here, go here. Live. I see we have 5 watching. Getting on my phone so I can read the comments. Can everybody hear me okay? I'd turn this volume down. Hello, Jeff. Ohio River, Rock Hunter, Little Dixie Diggers, Ron Farrell. Oh, that buck up there? Well, yeah, on that front side, he's a 10-pointer, but he does have 2 small tines that come off the back of the knots long enough to score for a non-typical anyways. Longer than 1 inch each. Well, I guess this is kind of working out how I planned anyways. So how'd everybody's Christmas go? I'm gonna wait till some more people show up before we get too involved, unless anyone has any questions about anything. Yours was good, Tim. How was mine? Not bad. A good Christmas. I got some beard oil from my dad, so that was something I really needed. Robert Moon, I bet. Hello, Schneider Tim. Hope you had a great Christmas too, buddy. I was hoping I was going to be able to get a picture on this tablet here, steal it off Facebook, where I can put it in front of the camera. And Jamie, hello Jamie. I worked on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, aka watched a lot of YouTube rock hunting. That must be a good job. Get paid and watch YouTube. That's awesome. Sorry, it probably looks like I'm looking down a lot, but I have to do that with the phone. I just don't like the camera directly in front of my face. I'm not doing that. It wants me to sign in again. Anyways, I'll put that picture up on just a regular community tab post where it shows everything I cased up this year. And I actually had forgot a point from the pawpaw patch, the biggest one I had found there. So it should have been 99 in that case, which I know exactly how they all work, because it went 3 points from the land of the lost, 5 from the field, 5 good ones from the river, 15 surface bird points, 15 from Snake Lane, 20 from the dirty hole, 22 from the creek, and actually 14 from the pawpaw patch, which would have made it 99. And actually it should have been 100 with 1 missing that I had to get rid of earlier. But hello, Rusty Dreams. Holy Baird, Mr. Brooksy, he says. I'm really, I don't know. I'm actually shy in front of the camera, so I'm probably like at a loss at where to begin. We did do a podcast one time, and that video's still on here somewhere. Back last winter, I think. But it was easier to have subject matter. That's okay, Tim. Hey! Look at that! Look who showed up. Osage River Fool on here. Gotta have these old man glasses on so I can read the phone. Or I can't read the comments. You know, let's talk about reading. Here's a book. It's the Prehistory of Missouri. I forget when it was wrote. And a friend of mine sent me this for Christmas. And this was like the third book I had read when I started like getting really interested into artifacts and everything back long ago. And you know, it was really easy. And we actually didn't even have the internet at home yet, because that would have been like 98, 99. And that's kind of basically when I started hunting. I really didn't get any good places to hunt till a little bit later. But it was really easy to find books, and then now we have the internet, which I had the internet starting in 2000, and you know, so it was still easy to access things, but I still read a lot more. You could get better information then on artifacts and archaeology than you can off the internet now. You know, now it's completely different. You can find so much information, but the problem with that is a lot of people either don't seek that information, or then they only read a little bit or only take it from one source, when that's the bad thing. There's so much to prehistoric archaeology and history. You have to like get it from as many sources as you can if you're that interested in it. You know, people that aren't, that's cool. You know, if all a person wants to do is pick up artifacts and be happy with that, hey, that's fine and dandy. You know, no one's you know, to each their own. But you know, I have to give credit to every piece of paper, everything written by everybody I've ever read. And I'm going to read this book again because I've actually forgot a lot about what's in here. But that's the thing, you collaborate for so many years, all that material together. Then you take social media happening and everybody sharing, and what you can actually take from them, whether it be their finds, their location, if they're showing only what comes out of a certain campsite, you know, how things are found, that with YouTube, you know, you start adding all that stuff together in decades and decades and all that, and then some things start to fall into place a little bit better. I mean, I have to give credit to everyone that shares a lot. And that's not just with finds, but guys that do like prehistoric recreations or recreations. Rusty Dreams, Rockheads Unite. Holy crap, we got 25 watching. Oops, sorry. Gotta watch my language. Never know when a kid's there, but crap's not really that bad. I mean, you hear that on TV all the time, but I mean, you know, here recently there was a comment that came back over a comment on a video that I commented on. A guy that has a tool video or whatever of his Native American tools, and he had actually spammed that video into comments on my tool video where I did all my tools laying in the corner and stuff like that, and asked everybody to come watch it, you know, and then even asked me to do the same, and went there, just told them the basic truth, you know, and then they're fine with it. Then they turn around and they're all butthurt about it, you know. And that's the thing, anyone that does know at least somewhat of the difference, they're not wanting to they're not hating on you people with just your regular rocks. That rock craze has gone nuts. It's been that way on Facebook for a long time, and I guess these people get rejected so bad they decide to come to YouTube, and anybody can hate on me for saying this, but I'm not trying to hate on anybody about it. I'm just being serious here. Because when you get one person that starts it and then another, and it just kind of gets a little bit ridiculous, and it has done that. It has gotten ridiculous. I have regular rocks. I do. I picked up a lot of weird stuff in the creek, especially when I first started hunting the creek. A lot of weird stuff. Mother Nature does some crazy things. And that's fine, but it's like when these people try and get corrected again and again and again, and then they just completely reject it. You have three scenarios, okay? You have three scenarios, basically, that I can come up with in my logical mind. One is they are definitely crazier than everybody that's crazy, okay? Because I can show you the difference between a good rock and a good artifact, okay? See this? This is a chert nodule, okay? It's never been no man-made modifications, just a rock. There's no face they carved in there. That's just Mother Nature. This is not a potato. No, it's not a potato. This is just a regular rock too. Now they did come out of Indian camps. Did they pick these up? Probably, possibly, but it's still just a rock. Now, see this? This is a chert nodule they picked up out of the creek. Okay? That's creek stain. That's all natural. See that? That's not natural. Can you see that? Can you see that? Sorry, I'm not even reading comments. But, it just, it really kind of makes me sad because, I am a person of empathy, believe me, I am, but then there has to be a point, I don't know if vigilant is the correct word, but, somebody has to say something somewhere, it has to be done, and, I've tried to comment on these people's videos, and I've even tried to be nice, but you can only do that for so long. So that's where I need some help, I guess. Because I generally like everybody. Oh, those three scenarios, I never finished that, did I? I got totally off track. But yeah, they're either really crazy or they've done enough drugs to make something wrong. I mean, that's the bad problem there, is that stipulation has already been put on artifact hunters for too long. And I hate that crap. Period. There's a lot more good people that aren't meth heads finding artifacts than you wouldn't believe. And if it's someone that's got a lot of hate on through the years, it's definitely been this guy right here. Definitely. But and that's okay. Not everybody falls in everybody's clique. It's like on my older videos. How many people we got watching? 27. Douglas Williams. I'm a meth head, laugh out loud. Hello, Dave, Dick. But, like my first 4 years of videos, most people don't know unless we've been in personal contact, or if I have you on my Facebook page as my friend, because I'm really open on there. I'm myself, But I was a real dork in them videos, and I can't per se that, what it was I was on high amounts of morphine prescribed daily for pain, okay? They were pumping me full of more morphine than what they did cancer patients. Well, when I watch my old videos, I'm like, man, I was such a damn dork. I need to delete that stuff off there. But, I kind of let it slide right on by. Because people can go ahead and hate on whoever they want for whatever. It don't bother me, You see this space right here? Do you see that space? This is me caring about negative opinions. Yeah, I couldn't picture that shit either. Brooksy Dirty says, give me a wrench. I guess I would have to do that on the computer, which I do have it turned on. And right here, besides that one live podcast, this is the first time I've ever done this, so you kind of got to bear with me. If you don't have a sifter, you're missing artifacts, Douglas Williams says. Well, yes, Douglas, that is true. Especially like here on a lot of Mississippian sites. But that's why you don't catch me on Mississippian sites, is because you do have to screen. And if I had to screen dirt and dig, I wouldn't be able to dig. I just wouldn't be able to do it. That's serious. That's work. That's backbreaking. I can't do that kind of shit. That's why, you don't see me out hammering the creek all the time? Because surface hunting's getting harder. Getting a lot harder. It's hard. Everything's getting harder. I'm not going to be able to do this like you guys will go on 10, another 20 years. I ain't got that. So I'm like fighting for every bit I can. That's why I'm not out fishing. You know what? If I go out 3 days a week, okay, what's that? That's 12 days a month. The other 18 days a month are spent right here on this couch. Me and that TV and these books. And, and my new phone, you got it, or this crappy tablet that I gotta fight or want a bipolar break half the time. Okay, here we are. I guess I go to the live feed on this thing here. Don't worry about it anymore, Tim. It is what it is, man. That's why, why you guys see me disappear for a year in 2015, well, end of 2014, 2015, and on to 2016, was because for after 8 years, I had to completely come off of that morphine. That's prescribed. I can go back to the doctor any day. But it's my choice because that stuff was killing me in more ways than you can imagine. And it still got me, it damages you physically. Okay, I guess I gotta figure out how to give wrenches here. Here's Dirty Water Jones, Brother Jonesy, 3 buttons. Add moderator. Hey, how about that, Jonesy? Well, like how, now Richard moves a lot more dirt than I do, of course. I mean, a lot. But digging the correct way, and it's taken a long time, and I've learned a lot from Richard as to how he does it. But, most campsites, you want to start basically in the middle, of whatever that high terrain area is, wherever you think the most camp is, and then slowly work your way out. Well, you never at no more than one time need no ditch longer than 4 or 5 feet. You know, that's usually your best spread. About 4 feet is usually what he does. I like a little bit more. But once you have that, but you kind of need your first bit of hole at least 3 foot. 3 foot wide, 4 foot wide. That first bit of dirt, you just take it and toss it everywhere. Get rid of it. Because all that dirt you dig out, as you dig it out, it's going to come behind you and fill that up. And then actually, as you're filling it, you make sure you rise above your regular ground. So as it settles at least close to what was there. And you just seed it with grass seed as you go back. Now, of course, at the dirty hole, we don't do that because that place was kind of like a little bit disaster before we got there. That's not our fault. So it's kind of misconstrued, that whole concept there. But like other places, and I'm fixing to put us on a new Sedalia site here soon. Yes, absolutely, digging is therapy. Wow, we got 34 people watching. Okay. What do you guys want to talk about? Jonesy, I'm blue. Hell yeah, brother. Bring the wrench down, Jonesy. Corbin's Arrowheads. Where do you get your wiggle picks? Those come from Creek Dalton. If you just search channel for on YouTube under Creek Dalton, you can go to him and you should be able to go to at least his last video and leave a comment. And then I'd say he would get it. Corey says, I want to see that old pawpaw point. D says it took me 5 months to get out the perk. Shoot, I don't even take aspirin these days. You've walked a mile in my shoes. That's wonderful. Don't feel alone. Well, it was more than just coming off of them. It was having to retrain my brain completely to deal with a certain amount of pain where, because I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't do nothing. I went to the store and I went to the doctor, and that was it. For almost 2 years. And that's hard on up here. Besides everything else that, stems from winter. But you have to learn to grow as a person. Growth is something that everybody doesn't take enough part in personally, deep enough, I think. I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying from a lot of people, that I personally know, see around me, not my friends. Most of all my friends are good people. I pick good people as friends, Good afternoon, not just for rocks. I guess Corey wants me to pull that point out, and it's up here in his case, so that's going to take me a minute. Dale Allen, your room looks like mine, rocks and racks. See if I can get that in the camera good. As I'm viewing it on my phone, it's a lot slower in time lapse, but and hopefully that camera's really clear. That's why I'm using actually my front camera instead of your reverse face camera, because the megabytes are higher. Megapixels, I mean. Not megabytes, but it's pretty nice. I don't have the best lighting in my house, or otherwise I'd have done a live video in the evening or something, But I have my windows open all the way, all my lights on. It's just this light over here to the side is the only one I have in the living room. I don't like my living room light when I'm trying to watch TV, and if I'm reading, I'm at this end anyway, so. But, yeah, and I'll have a flyer video out soon, which I'm sure when Richard prints my flyer, he'll print his flyer out too for the show, which is going to be April 27th this year. And, it's already been thrown around on Facebook a bunch. It's also on arrowheads.com. The guy Matt Doroso that runs that page for me is a good friend. Dick Schaefer says, Mike, what is your favorite piece in your collection? Well, to be honest, one of them is probably gone. But that's the thing. They're all favorites, really. If I had to like singularly pick one at the moment, it would have been that Howard County Keselak. And some older guys around here are just calling it a straight up Cache River. And you do get Cache Rivers, I mean, everything I've researched, but I don't know, point names get, I don't know, spread out a little bit too far in some ways nowadays. Hey, Mo Rockin'. No, David, Downtown Brown, I don't hardly get to Kentucky. Well, Douglas, I hope you get back there soon. And see, that was the thing, like on the last couple of videos that had paleo, you know, like this Red Dalton and that one from the Pawpaw Patch, you know, I always used to say transitional, because for me to be paleo, it like had to be like megafauna paleo, you know, but over the years and then here recently, you get a bunch of these guys who are like, no, you don't say transitional, yeah, but you have to say late paleo, It's kind of like for years, it was, no, you don't say spear, you say dart, you know, and you have a dart point. Well, now someone says, no, you say spear and spear point because a dart is something you throw at a board in a bar, you know, while you're drinking beers. You know, so everybody likes to change things up. Holy cow, I got 40 people so far. Sorry, I'm nervous, so I'm going to smoke a little bit. Ellen Keenan says, would love to hear about my most surprising finds. Well, that had been that last phenomenal point. And my Melville, I mean, those videos are on here. Those are basically some of my most surprising finds. My axe. Thanks, Jeff Wheeler. So, you know, it's like people hate on diggers, you know. And I know there has been some bad diggers through the years. Heck, the site, the dirty hole. You've seen the brokes we're screening out, the points. I mean, it's not like we're finding a lot of killer points. But we are rescuing a couple good ones and a bunch of few decent and a ton brokes, you know. And, you know, people say, you know, and the newbie, the biggest newbie, like, what is it, comment, every broke matters. Sorry, I just like making fun. Well, every broke does matter, especially when you've been on the same site for a long time, and you know, whether it's a field site, a bank site where you keep pulling the same things out of the same bank, and especially sites you dig at. keeping all them brokes together, they tell way more than just some regular story about some guy who made it, man. They tell about how it was made, why it was broke, how many of them types of points broke in a certain way, how many types didn't break that way. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot more to that. That's why my table over here is always full of stuff. And actually, until I went to make that case picture yesterday, I had a lot of them good points laying out here, except for that Howard County's been put up, of course, but because I'm out here with this thing. See this magnifying glass? And I have a loop and some other magnification tools in there in the other room, but this is my favorite right here, actually. And that kind of stuff's interesting to me, always has been. It's like, that's the thing, that's the one thing I've loved so much about social media. YouTube and Facebook combined together. I mean, there is so much information that everybody shares, and then you get guys guys in my state, getting to know all their finds through the years from their certain sites and everything. Man, that really starts locking a lot of things together. And then you take guys who have been doing a lot of primitive stuff for years, primitive recreation experiments over and over and over. That helps tell a lot. It really does. And people that don't try to, if they do want to learn more, don't try to embrace that. And of course, not everybody knows everything. Nobody's going to know everything. Nobody's going to know everything. I never will. And in fact, there's a lot of things have ignorance to. I couldn't go to an antique furniture store and pick out something that's actually 200 years old to something that was recreated in the Depression, because some guy was trying to make a bunch of bucks right away or something. You know what I'm saying? There's everything. There's always something somebody doesn't know things about. But everyone has a glitch, you know what I mean? And it was like before artifacts. I had to know everything I could soak in about fishing. Everything. And see, Preston Brothers, I like Jack Gray. I do, but I don't think he likes me. But this is his book right here. And I love this book because, and I have to do a video, and the first one's going to be Mozarkite and Just City Church, because I was badly misinformed for years, and I just turned around and did the same thing. And I have to apologize for that, because I was completely misinformed. I took them people for granted for knowing that they were telling me the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to fix that. I already know, all my local material's really good. But, I haven't done a video of it on here yet. And that's because, you watch my older videos, I mention material. I've mentioned it before. I've always been a rock freak. So I've always been prone to different types of materials, different types of shiny rocks. Yes, Jeff, it is a hard book to read. I think he is going to try and put out a second publication. I may have to scroll back and read some comments here. I'm sorry. I have not been keeping up on you guys. Mo Rock and archaeologists hate all collectors. Yes, a lot of them do. A lot of them do. I see it from them on Facebook, like Missouri archaeologists and Illinois archaeologists are all over Facebook a bunch. And there is some of them guys that are nice. Actually, there's a Michael Denier from Kansas who I really do like. He actually shared like 6 different, well, 4 of them are ice core readings, and the other 2 is like some other like environmental information from back in time frames. And those are kind of difficult to read. I had to read each one like 3 different times, and I'm still going to have to go back and graze through them like before I can start handing out that information just to make sure I remember everything correctly. But they told me in person, Moss sucks. Later, Douglas. You know, and that's the thing. I mean, I can see them hating on people that, let's say, grave rob and destruct property where they're not supposed to be, you know, or, federal land, state parks, that kind of stuff. But, if you're on someone's private land, that's their business. Nobody else's. They pay for it, pay taxes on it. And besides, most professional archaeologists, and I mean, I've read a lot of stuff from them, even some new stuff that they've wrote in the past few years that like really ain't publicized real widely, but I did leave a link on that one video to the Titterington sites, and that has some good information in it, But, well, they're publications, and I know Mo Rockins read a bunch of them because he used to be a part of them guys. He gave me a bunch of their books. Hey, Bryce Hale, have a good New Year too, buddy. 39 people watching. I meant to already have a map in here, and I left it in there. So just give me a quick second, and I will go grab it. I'm going to pull a Sheldon Cooper on you. But it's not fun with flags, it's fun with maps. But, I'll see if I can hold this thing up here, get this phone, where I can see kind of what I'm doing to start with. Okay, can you guys see that map pretty good, kind of? Damn, he's like laugh out loud. Hey, you gotta have a little humor, man. You gotta keep the mood light. Okay, see this map here? This is Missouri, but this is more like prehistoric times. These are all paleo sites or whatever around here. But on this map here, the Missouri River comes out this way, goes up north, and it breaks off into a bunch of other rivers. And then here you have the Osage Arm, where it comes, and it breaks off into here, and it comes down this way and breaks off into 2 other rivers and goes this way to Kansas, and then here's the part of the Missouri that comes up this way, this part of the Missouri River. So like from here, and then on all of this lower side of the Osage, and a little bit on this side of the Osage in spots, you have all your Ozark Hills, okay? And the rest is mostly all prairies. You do get a couple little hilly spots like around St. Louis, this kind of area. But a lot of that's all prairie land. This over here, this is all prairie land. This is all prairie land, okay? Now you have the entire Etley culture that lives throughout the whole state, okay? down here in this area, when you get some Etleys, you get a little bit more Smiths mixed in with them. When you get in this area, right in here, you kind of get more like a little bit of everything from them guys. You get your Etleys, your classic Etleys, what used to be called the square stone stem. Even Jack Ray has reclassified it as just a variant of an Etley. It's just a square-based Etley. Then you have your Melvilles, your Smiths, and your Sedalias and your Nebo Hills. And then we'll get to this too, but just quick reference. On all of these different types of sites, you find this one little point called the Robinson Point. You guys have seen me show those before. Okay. Well, over here, this is like your main Sedalia country. Right here. Or this great big opening as it go this way. But you get up here, you find a mix of Sedalias and Nebo Hills. But you'll find Nebo Hills mixed in down this area too. Then over this way is where you have more what they call your Titterington sites, where some of them great big Wadlows and great big long Etleys come from. Okay, so once you get to this area here, where it's your Ozark Hills, those Sedalias and Nebo Hills completely disappear. They disappear. You will not find a Sedalia. You won't even find a Sedalia on that Osage River arm. Unless you're like way up here and on that side of it, like at Spike's garden spot where he did a lot of digging at. Him and George found a ton of Sedalias there. But he's on this side of the Osage River. He's on the north side. He's at the end of the Ozark Hills, where they just kind of start hitting in the prairie lands, okay? So even on these sites up here, all them Etley sites, whether they have Sedalias and Nebo Hills or they're down here in these Ozark Hills, they don't. They have that little Robinson Point, okay? Them little Robinson points are like a perfect spear point, small atlatl point, dart point for killing anything from an elk and less, okay? Those big Sedalias and Nebo Hills are made to kill animals that are only going to live in that prairie land. The Ozark Hills wasn't sustainable for them. What might that animal might have been? A bison, buffalo. This Osage River, vaguely any buffalo things found. Where it meets right at the Missouri, there's once in a while a little something found, but you come up this way, all this other way, all kinds of buffalo remains get found. That's because this was all a buffalo area. So you have one state, one culture, and everything they do is based on environmental differences. So not only do you have environmental differences within one culture, within one state, but from culture to culture, from region to region, and it's all because, what we see change in Mother Nature-wise was nothing compared to what they seen change. And, that's the thing. They've been underestimated, and we still underestimate them to this day. Greatly, ridiculously, badly underestimate them. They didn't just survive, they thrived. And to thrive from survival, you have to basically be a perfectionist at it. And you're going to have to be healthy. And to be healthy and thrive, you have to be the best at your game. These people made modern day people, even these people who call themselves survivalists, and put themselves on a show, that some of them are a joke. Literally, some of them are a joke. But I hope that got rum, Brooksy. Have a great day. I'm just stepping back and reading some comments. Make sure I'm caught up, I guess. Guess y'all been listening to me yak for a few minutes. Looks like a couple people dumped off. Hey, that's okay. I'm not everybody's clique. you know. But that's all of that's a really wide collaboration from my own, everything I've learned from everybody else to start with, everything I've read about Etley cultures, and the Robinson Point had never been associated with them, and really the Sedalia Nebo Hill points had never like really been classified as to having a particular use. You know, you can find in the Cucumber, there's videos from my site where that stuff has been stacked right on top of each other. You know, now when you get to Blue Ridge and Hardin Hill, they're farther into the Ozark Hills. So those Sedalia points disappear. But what's on the same thing as those sites? That Robinson Point. Everybody I know has ever been on an Etley site and been there a long time finds Robinson Points. My big sea of dirt, where I used to find Etleys all the time. You had the one area where you always found Etleys, that's where the Robinson Points were usually at. I mean, and all that's come from collaboration from everybody and remembering that stuff and then doing your own homework too, you know. I mean, I wish I was smart enough to do like anything on a computer. You know, if I was smart enough, I'd be making millions of dollars off of some dumbass video people want to watch, you know. But I'm not that smart in that aspect. I'm only smart to what my OCD like thrives on the most, you know. Like I said, it was like when I was growing up, you know, when I was growing up, I had to tell you everything about all kinds of music. Any kind of music you could ask if it had to do with rock and roll. Nowadays, a lot of stuff's been pushed out the side, you know. It was like fishing. Everything, I had to read everything I could get my hands on. You know, it's been like that with archaeology, artifacts. I've had to get my hands on everything I can read. And some things I go back and read again. But you know, a lot of regular rock hunters don't do that, and that's all cool, you know. But there is a lot of people that do, and you know, with social media, no matter what platform it's on, you know, it should be shared and collaborated and collected, and I mean, we can do leaps and bounds with the technology we have today. Leaps and bounds. Oh, thanks, Preston. I need someone who's better on the computer than me to write a book, though. If I had someone to do that for me, just listen to me talk, baby, but... And see, that's the thing, too, you know. Man, I'm already wanting to smoke. I'm nervous, people. Sorry. I even had a Valium beforehand. One lucky SOB 36. Where you been? 36 didn't used to be on your name. Ohio Flint guy, hey Clarence, do you think there is a connection to the Incas and Mayan tribes that come to the Etley Point? Well, you gotta remember, they all traveled. They always traveled. Somebody always went out to travel, you know, as to say exactly how much and who did it or how they did it. That's the kind of stuff we'll never know. But there's been enough factual evidence of finds that show that they traveled a lot. There's been Missouri material found in other places. We find materials from other places here. There's actually been like 12, I think it's 12 recorded obsidian sites, or sites obsidian has come from, and all that's like, they all did like a water hydration analysis test on it or something, where it all basically comes from remember exactly where, so I don't want to quote that, but you all, is like Nebraska area or something like that. It's like Knife River, Flint. There's been some of that found here. You know, it has its normal distribution area. Would you agree that the best info you can get about these artifacts is getting out there and digging? Absolutely, Corey. Absolutely. That's I mean, that's why I do it. I mean, I ain't just doing it just pull up a bunch of killers. Now, of course, any veteran artifact hunter is going to want to find a good point. I mean, that's just a given. I mean, come on. But you do learn a lot. You do. And that's why I started digging. And I started right off the bat, right when I really realized where to go and what to do, and all that's came with experience. But yeah, it's led me to things I would never have found. You know, as long as people ain't digging up a grave, you know, and you're not like going in destroying somebody's private cave, you know, on their property, you know, whatever. You know, they got caves barred off because they're protected for gray bats, stuff like that. Yeah, that kind of stuff shouldn't be bothered. You know, state parks, you know, on people's private lands and stuff like that. You know, that's different. Yeah, you're right, Clarence. There is a lot of similarities from the Mayans and Adena Hopewell culture. Yeah, not to mention the mounds. We got here D. When it comes to pottery, how was the imprints made exactly? Grass or sticks? Oh, they had some different ways. Like Moroccan said, cord wrap sticks, and I've been meaning to put a little video together of like all my pawpaw patch pottery because I got quite a bit, and there's a lot of different. I probably have like 7 different types. I think I gotta get them all finished, matched up. I have a bunch that still needs cleaned. Yippers, little Dixie diggers, don't matter if they're broke, we love them all. So I guess the film quality's okay. Should be. It's a dang brand new Moto G6. I still, when I get my regular mat done, I still want to do, you know, another video on the Etley culture and bring that Robinson point up more because, like I said, it had never been like associated with an actual culture, especially the Etley culture. And like I said, being able to pinpoint them Sedalias and Nebo Hills out to being a specific projectile for buffalo, you know, that came from a ton of collaboration from other people, you know, but no one had like, I mean, I remember when I first shared that in this group that's got a bunch of all these archaeologists. The one guy in there, Bruce Hensley, I believe that's his last name, was like, thinking out of the box or something like that, provocative thinking or something. And now the guy who runs that group, you know, re-brought that back up, you know. Black Bull Creek. Yes, sir, Monster Hog. That's that deer. What's this? Black Bull Creek. Brooksy, I'm in the sandy south of Georgia. Our artifacts get silted over here in creek, so sifting is a gimme. I'm digging a bluff above a creek, find a few points, but tons of pottery. Am I in the wrong area? No, if you're finding a few points and tons of pottery, you just got to keep digging. You may have to go deep, you know. You definitely have to go deeper, you know. If it's a good shelter on a bluff, like a slight overhang, you know, it just depends. The occupation from them different timelines of cultures may have, you know, one culture may have came in and through the mid archaic years over and over and over through different periods of time and only left so much. And then your woodland cultures have left more because they were there more. They had more people. I mean, everybody's got to remember these people didn't like just show up one day, you know, 13,000 years ago and then live for 1,000 years and then die off. And then some other people show up and they die off. And some other people show. You get what I'm saying? They all evolved into the next layer, you know, the next generation of people just over and over and over and over. My Eric West, Mike, you always look good even when you fall in snow. You watch that video, huh? Yeah. Good deal, Jesse. Yeah, I mean, sharing knowledge is a good thing. I mean, you know, I'm never going to know it all. I'd like to. I'd like to soak in as much as I can. I mean, everybody really should. You know, it's like, because there's a lot of information we don't share. I can find camps on that computer using two different mapping systems. One system I'm just not going to tell you. I'm not going to say it publicly because I don't want anyone catching on to my game. But once you've been on enough of the same sites, okay, for different cultures, and you know where that site is, here's some information I will give you. You got this phone. Open up your Google Maps and pin it, okay? Start recording every site you've ever been on, whether you pick up a little bit or you pick up a bunch. A lot of people don't do that. I have every site I've ever been to recorded on my Google Maps and on hard copy maps. I have every site I know of that other people hunt recorded in a separate album on my Google Maps and that map. Okay, and then when you know where all them sites are and you use a certain type of mapping and you look at what those sites look like, then you're just looking for the same thing. And there's always one main ingredient. One main ingredient. I don't steer far from it, and that's water. Yeah, there's camps out there somewhere where there's not much water, maybe just a spring, but you want to stay on the water and you're looking for the spring running into that main waterway. And the rest is, the rest is terrain. But, and different cultures do different things over and over and over. It's like I remember back in the day, people always thought they used one camp. That was all they used. You're just going to use one camp forever. You know, they lived there for 1,000 years. Well, no. They'd stay there. That's something we'll never know. How long they actually stayed there for a certain period of time and how long it took them before they actually came back to that place again. You know, whether it was 10 years, 30 years, you know, just depending on how many different camps they used. But the most conserved resource was definitely wood, firewood. You're not going to make an axe and go down out there and be cutting all down any kind of tree you can. What I think they did, and some other people think the same thing too, is you take an axe, you take an old timer that knows the trees real good, you're looking for the trees that are old and gonna die first. You scar them up. If you have to, you dig the roots up. You scar the roots. Whatever. They may have had something they could mix in, pour around that stuff, and it causes it to die off. Well, When all your firewood's gone, you're doing that, then you leave that camp and you go to the next camp where they were at, whatever it was, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, where they did that, that wood's already there waiting for them. Then you can take your axe and break down a pretty good dying tree and break it up into small pieces, because unless you had to keep your butt warm or cook food, you're not going to be burning wood. Then that is my opinion, because that comes from survival. That's another thing. You take survivalists and knowing how to survive in the woods, that brings a lot to that game too. There's like so much you can collaborate everything together that brings more things to clarity. It's all practical sense of survival and survival to thrive. Yeah, you can go out there and try and survive, but if you ain't thriving, you're not going to have a family. They're not going to have healthy kids. You're not going to keep generating on. You're going to die off. They didn't die off. They multiplied by millions and millions. Had to follow food. Well, yeah, sure. Mike Stanners, Brooksy, could you discuss the difference between artifacts and geofacts? Yeah, we did that a little bit on here, but that's the problem. We are getting more people now that are posting videos of their geofacts. I call them my artarocks, because half of them are like, you see, it's got a mammoth face on it, or they carved into it. Now, they did do a lot of carving in certain things, but most of that is in true effigies, made out of flint or slate, that you can actually tell look like something. And then, you have, and I've been meaning to throw it in years for videos, you have natural concretions. Okay, that's like a roundish rock with holes in it and different kinds of things. You have stones that once held Pittock clams in them. Google up Pittock clams. Mr. Rick Jitsu. We got all kinds of people on here. Just basically listening to me babble. Because I have an ego. You know what? I really find it funny when people say that too. Especially when we're just trying to help them. We really are. And I try to be nice at first, but then after they throw that kind of out, then that brings out my other side where I'm like, hey, and I'll say all kinds of things. Some things may seem abrasive, but I don't think a lot of people know the difference between ego and egotistical. Ego really doesn't mean you have a swollen head. I mean, if you read the dictionary, it says, someone has a lot of self-confidence, has a lot of pride, and there's nothing wrong with people having pride and self-confidence. Everybody should have that, but then you have to know where your pride and self-confidence begins and ends at too. I mean, and that should be towards things that good. It's like me, I don't bark off about things I don't know about because I don't have no self-confidence in it. It's just I know better, I don't know. And egotistical is someone who thinks they know it all and nobody knows better than them. That's what egotistical is. That's what you should that's the word they should be using, is you're an egotistical person, not you have an ego. Because I don't have either, really. I do have self-confidence, but I have self-confidence in what I know about, and what I can do or what I can't do. Eric West, I just found a new spot. Been walking around it 30 years. Google Maps got me there. See, there you go. So what do you guys want to talk about? Come on, it's like I said a question and answers, a Q&A, you know? Make it easier for me here. You've been finding some killers, bro. I'm gonna catch up on videos, maybe post a few. Heck yeah. We haven't seen you post no videos in a long time. Hey, Scott Hudson. Happy New Year, brother. Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy early New Year to everybody. Hope everybody has a stellar rockin' 19. I don't care what's the matter with you. Get out there and go find an artifact. So, like, what you guys want to talk about? You want me to, like, I don't know, show an artifact or something, or what? How long do I think they were here? Ohio River Rock Hunter says. Well, there is some pretty old sites, and there's a lot of misconstrued information, so I really would hate to quote that completely. But they were here longer than what the whole site's been recorded as. I'll say that much. I mean, they were probably coming over here at least off the European. I believe the Soltrians came here. I do. I'm not saying that I don't believe that, as they were still coming here after they already had been for a while, then people were coming, around the Bering Strait and coming here too. But, I mean, for me, there's been enough evidence to prove that they came here. And a lot of people kind of hate on Dr. Stanford, but he's really top of his game, because he is the top of his game. And I have pictures somewhere where they had been searching the Asian continent forever, looking for any type of artifact that had the same technology, tools, or whatever from that type of the old world. And they couldn't find nothing. Nothing. Now, there is some type of points, I don't remember what they are. They look really like a Dalton, but they're made out of gemstone material from over there, and they're super thin, and the serrations go all the way down them. That point isn't much different than what a Dalton is, and that's where those people come from. And then there's also some Western stemmed points, that they believe are even, dated older, pre-Clovis too, but who's to really say? Ever found a Clovis? No. Do you guys find many banner stones? I haven't. There was one found on the adjoining property of the Dirty Hole. It was like a tubular type more, but it was square with rounded edges, and only 3/4 of it, a quarter, a third of it was broke off of one end. And that may even be in the 2010 Artifact Show video. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it. I hope to find one. I do think I have a broken one up there in my tool case, but it doesn't have the hole with it. It's our high quality hematite, and it is shaped just like a crescent, like a side of a crescent, but the hole's not there. So, I can't say for certain. Rocky Times, where did I get that tomahawk? That thing up there? Actually, the blade that is in there came from my little sea of dirt fields I picked up years before I started using the camera. And I had that old bone out of the creek I picked up one time, and so I carved a notch in it and shoved that thing in there and tied it off with some synthetic sinew and did some turkey spur beads and a little leather handle wrap. That's in case somebody comes in my door I don't want and I'm feeling a little spunky or something, spiteful. But what's the best identification book for beginner in Missouri? Well, first of all, Jack Graham Moss just put out a new identification book for Missouri, Ozarks, probably some Arkansas, some of Kansas, some Illinois. That's, and every state archaeological society puts out other books, and always finding your newer books are going to be better. But, and I do own one, but I'm not going to promote this book. Now, it is good for beginners, but you can't stay here. This is not a Bible. There's a lot of misinformation in here, and that new one ain't no better. And they can hate on me for saying that. I don't care. There's enough people that said the same thing. But what we got going on here? How the heck did they work granite, such hard material, on another stone D? Like on a sandstone metate, something to that aspect, something where you can grind on it, but like your notches and stuff, your grooves in it, and a lot of your main shape, you can use like another really hard, like hammerstone rock, and shape a lot of it. And then you're going to do a lot of sanding on it too, a lot of grinding, a lot of sanding. Alan Helbling. Well, I haven't got here. I guess you guys ain't too bored yet. You're not dropping off like flies. Jamie Hutchinson. Yeah, he's only good thing about the new Overstreet, it has my Clovis in it, almost full size. Yeah, that's a phenomenal freaking point, man. I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, we all dream of finding a Clovis, but man, if you could actually see Jamie's Clovis, that thing is phenomenal. They usually don't get found that big. No, I'm going to have to step over here and grab another pack of cigarettes, excuse me. Mohawk and been doing dishes. The Bering Strait people use bladelet technology, not point technology. Also, more Clovis sites in the East Coast, not the West Coast. Your sites are most likely underwater. Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of sites underwater around the East Coast, and especially the more north you went. It was all the Titanic ice sheet. I'm just saying that Daltons resemble in certain type of Asian points. And then you take your Clovis toolkit and you take a Solutrean toolkit. All that technology is exactly the same, basically. But that's something it's still going to take a long time to figure out. Exactly. Who we got on here? Crooked D. It was 420. Curious about the Tiny Robinson points. Have you noticed how they seem to span all times and cultures like Big Sandy, Godar, Cadet, St. Pill, Hickory Ridge, Osceola? Yeah, those are actually all different point types. There is some similarities in between, like a Big Sandy to a Radatz and a Hickory Ridge. But when you've had each one of them point types in your hand for more than several different pieces, you do realize there is a few attributes that split them apart. And then also with that, it's all on the site mapping, the site recording. You know, what's coming off of that same site? What's those same kind of sites? What are those same cultures present? It's like here in Missouri, we really don't have Big Sandy points here. I know that distribution map on projectilespoints.com shows that, but that's kind of like one of them Overstreet Bibles. All that they have on the right. Here's a real good example. You go to their Dixon page, it says Adena Dixon. Adena's and Dixon, two totally different cultures. Those point types are two totally different cultures completely. And then they actually say we don't even have Adena culture in Missouri because their last mound building was 150 miles east of the Mississippi River. But I really don't believe that. There's too many beaver tail type contracting stem points that get found in Missouri that look just like a beaver tail Adena contracting stem you find anywhere else. You know? But that's still more stuff. Happy New Year, Rainmaker. Hey, Carl. Have you ever been in any dangerous positions while hunting, digging, etc.? Rocky times. Yeah, the pawpaw patch. Because we're having to dig under pre-dug dirt and then every time it rains, that upper wall gets soft and then you come across these rocks, big rocks, that you don't notice they're there until you start exposing them a little bit. I mean, you may have this much of dirt hiding that rock. If you watch one Richards video where him and Alan were there, and I can't remember if they talk about that rock or not, but that rock right fell on Alan. So, yeah, that's pretty dangerous. Actually, me hunting by myself, which I don't do as much as I used to anymore, basically is kind of dangerous for me. I mean, something happens to me out there physically, I'm screwed. I mean, I'm just screwed. So, but then see, that's the thing with obsessive compulsive disorder. Some people put themselves in danger to obtain that obsessive compulsive disorder. But there's a whole lot more to that, too, that I'm not speaking of. Mike Stanners, that's what I was saying. I agree with the Solutrean theory. I believe it. You know, I can't remember the name of that site, okay, but it was what they back then they called the European Spain continent, and it was a Solutrean site. Most of all and it was like on the coastline, kinda. Most all their tools were made from surrounding materials right there. All their projectile points were made from an island. Back then, they figured by whatever little boat they had, would have took them 3 weeks travel there and back to go get that material. That's the only place them points that material was made from, okay? Then you had to take the Aborigines. They went from where they were on the main part of the continent and island hopped all the way to Australia 60, 50,000 years ago. Well, they didn't swim from island to island to like play with Jaws and stuff, or the shallow shark. They had boats. I mean, it's practical sense. Like I said, prehistoric people are so underestimated for everything that it is like ridiculous. It just is terrible. Happy New Year, Mo Rockin'. See you later, brother. Ligma is a serious issue. David Straub, Jasper found on main sites come from Aquarium, Pennsylvania. Actually, there's a Clovis site in, I think it's in New York, where like they have several different points and they're all made from like something in Nebraska, something from Missouri, something from Ohio, and then regular, I think, Onondaga, New York. Oh, you got me on that one, Jamie. You got me on that one. I can't remember the name. On the Salutrian site, it may have been. I'd have to get on the computer and pull it back up. It's been a while since I've read that. It's just stuff that I've retained. It was like the adjoining site of the Dirty Hole. That guy I knew for before I basically, right when I first started getting into hunting artifacts. And he didn't even hardly hunt artifacts very much back then. He did a little bit. But he had like a Dalton Sloan looking blade that he pulled off the property on his side that they dug on for like a decade. So I know like everything they ever found there. But everybody believed that that was like some type of black Texas shirt. And it was like real sparkly, but you know, I never got pictures of it so I could keep studying it. But the Salutrian site, the flint point found from France, found in Virginia, true. The Sinmar trawler, I think. I don't know about that, Mo Muggy. I know you have the Cactus Hill site, which is supposedly has Salutrian site, but I don't remember the material it was made out of. How long have I been hunting artifacts? Well, I started around 98, but I really didn't find a whole lot and start like until like 2001. And then I really wasn't even good in the creek until years later. It took me a while to learn how to hunt the creek good. I was just always impatient and walk one line in and walk one line out, and you're going to stumble across something. But once I learned to grid everything out like I do in a field, then that's when you start finding stuff. Except in that gravel, you got to put your grid vision way tighter. Was this Rainmaker? What do you think about the trading they did or maybe didn't do because a nice head this year made of Knife River flint, whoever they are, that North or South Dakota, well, somebody was always traveling, always trading off somewhere. I mean, I personally think that, whatever you want to call them, a clan, a family back then, no matter, the bigger the size, of course, but they're probably going to say, we need you to go out and go explore. Someone's always been an explorer. Come back. If you're back in 2 years, we should be at this camp by that time. Take some of our material, bring some material back. I mean, that's the thing. That's why most of all your waterways, your best camps are going to be off a waterway, because they were probably using boats over here, like a canoe, a dugout canoe of a tree, longer than what we even think. I mean, if they were using boats over there, boats to get over here, and they even believe that some of them people that came from the European Asian continent that came on some of that Bering Strait, that there's probably places where they actually boated along it to get over here too. Because now, I forget an area, but they said that it would have probably been impassable at that time for a long period of time. Now, I still have to read more on that, so like I said, you can't quote me on that, just it's something I remember. But I don't know if you guys get on Instagram, and then on Instagram, I think he's Riverful, but it's Osage Riverful also on here. And this cave he's been digging at, there was a Knife River Flint, like Hidden Valley come out of there. A lot of people wanted to call it a Dixon, but we're pretty sure it's a Hidden Valley. Did I bag the big buck on the wall with its arrow? And it said, no, that's an arrow I'm working on. I got to put some feathers on it and then mail it off to a friend. No, I bagged him with a 308 on an AR-15 platform. That video is actually on here if you go back to 2013, and I think it's under Missouri deer hunting or something like that. Rocky Times. Oh yeah, 5 o'clock. 33 people. You still here listening, Jonesy? This is my first try at this besides the podcast thing I did with Corey and Dane, but Michael Starr. That's funny too. If Mo Rockin was on here, he could tell you. Me and him's only got to hang around, 3 times in person now. And him and Miss Mo Rockin, they'll probably tell you, I talk your damn ear off if we're in person. I do. I'm a talker. I like to talk. Later, Ohio River Rock Hunter. It should be your weekly show. I'm loving it. Yeah, if I could organize, break down a subject or something each time, I think it'd be kind of fun. I don't know if I could do it weekly, but that's the thing too. Different things drive people differently, okay? And everybody walks a different path. And I've had a lot of people hate on my path for a lot of different reasons, And I can't deny I have judged some people too. But usually before, I kind of try and lay some kind of judgment, I try and make sure, I at least know a little something what I'm talking about, and it goes to a certain point. It's like my Arterock guys, my Geofact is an artifact or whatever. That is laying some judgment on them, because either those people are crazy, they're either on drugs, or I never got to the number 3rd scenario. They're doing that for nothing but attention and for some other like ridiculous reason that, some weird psychological reason, people do all kinds of things weird psychologically. It's kind of like I have thought about actually starting a second channel as like, let's say, a motivational speaker for people that have to deal with physical ailments or mental ailments, because I've had to battle both, and I still battle both every day. But you have to learn to grow from them, not let them break you down. And that's the bad thing about having any kind of physical ailment. It is going to continually break you down physically and mentally. But everybody forgets their most important tool. It's this thing up here. And then the second comes your heart with passion, because people with passion will rise to fight every single day, no matter what. It was like when I dipped out disappeared for a while there. I had to reset everything, and it's still hard. I mean, but it made me grow a lot. And when it comes to any kind of ailment, no matter, or actually anything it is you don't like, anything that you don't like, the only way to overcome it is to have full acceptance of it. And then just learn to do the best what you can at what you can. Take it one day at a time and work your way from there. Actually, I work at one moment at a time. That moment now, that may be a half a day, it may be a day, it may be 10 minutes. But, it's been hard for me from day one, even with when I was on all the pain medication, and it's even harder now. Like I said, that's why you don't see me out surface hunting all the time. I mean, we've had some decent washes for our area. You saw when I went to the creek with my friends, I called it the creek cleanup crew, because when I am with them two people, we don't leave nothing behind, But I didn't go back. I had 40 miles of creek I could have hunted. I didn't go back. It's wintertime. I got to wear them neoprene waders, and they're heavy, and then they wear you down faster. It's harder to walk. And it's much easier for me to, and it ain't got nothing to do with smoking for me when it comes to walking. It's all everything else. My legs, my hips, my back. It's badly in my hips and my legs, but my back too. But digging's actually easier, especially if I don't have to walk far to get to that spot. If you do it correctly, it's not that hard. It's like me, I can't use a shovel. That's why I use a wiggle pick. That's why I don't dig at sites where I got a screen, because that kind of stuff I can't do. Now I do have that little bitty thing like this. You can put, maybe 3 handfuls of dirt in, 4 if you really had to, and that wears me out. You ask most people that hunt with me now, they'll tell you I sound like soft porn going on over there in my hole. Because I'm moaning and groaning so much. But you know what keeps me going? That passion. That passion for what I have passion for. What keeps me my little bit of content and happiness, I better read some of these comments. I've been yakking for a minute. Mind over matter. To a certain point, yes, it is mind over matter. Yes, it definitely give everyone a chance to gather their thoughts and questions. I mean, that's the thing too. I learned so much from other people that I enjoy it. I enjoy it badly, and Not all of them are always perfectly right either, you know. But when you take what they are bringing to the circle and you add it to everything else that falls into that circle, it all starts correlating somewhere, you know. Like, okay, Jamie brought up banner stones. Let's talk about banner stones. Let's talk about atlatls and hunting with an atlatl. Even with modern guys, you have some guys that will tell you you don't need a weight. You don't want to wait on your atlatl. That weight on your atlatl actually decreases your velocity from, you know, your power or whatever. I haven't done a lot of it, just one time, so I can't but I know what I learned from them. Then you have some guys who've been doing it too, and they'll put like a little weight on there. That's usually just a little tie-on weight, you know. A lot of banner stones are made pretty good size. Now they are drilled out for a reason, and I even have the newest, last year's Missouri archaeological poster, and they're on my door laminated, and it has a banner stone on an atlatl that was dug from a site, but it's a little bitty. It's actually made out of bone, like this, you know. And I'm a firm believer in believing that almost every culture, even archaic and the paleo, were all spiritual in some type of manner. Okay? Then when you get into your archaic years, where they're going to be using the same camps over different time periods over and over, or whatever, you know, and there's going to be some spiritual stuff going on, some kind of ceremony, whether it was a birth, a death, before a big hunt, after a successful hunt, and you're going to need some kind of entertainment. There's going to be somebody that's a storyteller, you know. If everybody needed a banner stone for using an atlatl, every camp would be loaded with banner stones. There'd be banner stones just laying everywhere. Most campsites, usually are lucky if they produce one. Some don't ever produce one. I think a lot of them were more you take almost every item they used to hunt with, they probably had one of those, that storyteller, that's the only time he used it, during ceremony. And that's usually probably where that banner stone come from. Now, that's a correlation with a lot of other people that believe that same thing too, but then there's a majority of people that don't believe that. But to me, that makes practical sense, especially when you've watched them guys on video that use atlatls and do 300, 100-yard shots with an atlatl, and it never has a banner stone on it. I guess I should check out some comments here. Do you ever find rocks that aren't specifically tools but still have been manipulated by man? Not very often. If it's been manufactured in some sense, it's going to have some kind of evidence, good evidence of it, not something where someone says, look, this has a cool shape, but it's been water washed, so you're not going to see what they did, I mean, all that stuff is right here. Every tool that's ever been made, that's ever been found, is in a book somewhere, online somewhere. All different types of tools. No, I've never snorkeled or scuba dived. I'd like to in some creeks, though. Yeah, their prescription medications are dangerous. All of them. They've tried to shove me full of that crap for years. I still have to take some nowadays. Hey, Spike! Spike's on here. I'm watching on TV while I cut. Paleolithic tech. I have a few hammerstone preforms, laugh out loud. Yep, my yard is full of them. Just need pine belt here now. Tim DeFleece. What is going on here? Is this the Caveman channel? Yes, it is. Hey, Paleo Hunter. What's up, brother? We've been yakking for a while. I think I started this like at, well, I was going to try and start at 3, and I started at a little after, but, so I guess if you want to watch the whole thing, you have to go back and watch it again. But, sites are disappearing. How did I set the thumbnail on the videos? Well, when you're uploading a video, I don't know about like on the phone, I don't remember how it works, but like on the computer, after you wait till it loads your thumbnail up before you send it through, and it will show you where it has its 3 choices it made, or you can hit the custom. And then you just pull into that and pull into your pictures or whatever. Except sometimes the mobile phone might be different than a computer. Like on my computer and everything, I actually have to make that picture a smaller JPEGs than what it actually is. If you understand me, you just kind of crop it up some and it makes it smaller. Sites are disappearing, Jay Nixon says. Well, yeah, in some ways they are. And in a lot of ways, there's so many undiscovered sites that it's unfathomable. There are so many undiscovered sites, it's probably ridiculous. Even by some of the best archaeologists, think we have just barely found 10% of what's out there. Just barely 10% have scratched the surface. So there's artifacts from the prehistoric age to be found for long after our lifetimes, fellas, long after we're gone. Probably even after the grandkids are gone. If I ever found a stone wheel, Aaron, no. Found a few old wagon wheels once upon a time. That's awesome. I like seeing everybody have the community interaction on here. Jonesy brother, this morning, I called your phone, I think like 3 times trying to wake you up. That was good stuff. That was good stuff. Yeah, we only got a few more days this year. It's actually was pretty cold there today with the wind chill in the 20s all day. And tomorrow's supposed to be like that. And then Monday or Sunday and Monday is supposed to be like in the 40s and not bad. And then I think like it's supposed to turn a little bit cold again. And I just talked to Sonora Tim the other day on Facebook, and he said he was packing up as we were speaking. So, because I've really been waiting for him to get here, but if it's 35 and sunny out, no wind, it's not too bad out. But boy, if it's cloudy, 35 and windy, yeah, I can't do that cold. Once it cuts through me, I'm done. Yeah, I miss my big sea of dirt. See, now years before, you can go back and watch those videos. And for surface hunting, like, they would plow them before deer season would come along. And then we just stay out of them until at least after black powder season. By then, they've had a ton of rain on them. And I could surface hunt all winter long, you know. But like I said, surface hunting has gotten harder, but I've also lost a lot of places. I mean, I have the creek and the river now, and that's basically about it. You know, and the only reason I have the river is because Hook drags me around with him nowadays, you know. But we have a lot of fun together. Oh yeah, you definitely gotta dig deep. Different terrains are different though. Bottom sites, you're always going to, like a bottom, low lying terrain site, like around a river. You're always going to have to dig a lot deeper than what you are on ridge sites. Ridge sites, once you get to the red clay, the serious red clay around here, you're done. There's nothing there except dinosaurs and fossils. But a lot of times you get in our tan clay and our tan layer of clay, and you get where you have like a lot of stale dirt. And sometimes you may be on one camp that has stuff in the tan clay, and you may be on another camp that's just like that, same ridge site, and there'd be nothing there. It's just, a lot of sites are different. And then you got to consider cultures too. They're going to be different on them sites as well. Yeah, so many sites get destroyed by construction businesses. The government, the states. One person I know in California, some of you guys watch his videos too, but he's told me over the phone that he knows where parking lots are out in the middle of nowhere in the desert, nothing around for there to really be a parking lot, and they basically put it there to cover up a site, and then a lot of places, all them pieces that they recover, they all end up in a box and in a basement somewhere. Walmart's, around where I live at, they destroy sites all the time, and contractors, building these, $5 million homes on this rich ass lake here. They dose something up. Oh, we can't let that be known. Just cover it right back over, and we'll just keep on going because they can't no one come in and shut them down. Too much money involved. Way too much money involved. Everybody likes money. But to some people, life is nothing but money. And that's a fact. That's the destruction of the human race right there, is greed. Greed is the destruction led by our own kind. It's like when I first started hunting artifacts. I hated the people that were greedy. Oh, greedy. I can't stand any kind of greed. I've never been a greedy person. Not just with the little 2 boxes of giveaways I gave away, but I give my nieces and nephews arrowheads every year for Christmas, birthdays. I gave away over 30 artifacts this Christmas. Ain't no greed in that. Most people, I don't know, it's like jealousy. I've never had a jealous bone in my body. I don't understand jealousy. Just like I don't understand greed. Everybody's different. Why don't the uptight archaeologists go big, the developers that destroy would? You know what them archaeologists do? When they're like recovering off of a site, they go in and pick up what's around, and if they decide to dig, they dig 1% or less of a site. And then half of them artifacts they have are actually manufactured flakes. And then they have some broken arrowheads, a couple good arrowheads, whether you want to call them a knife or projectile, and tools. And then you have debitage, camp trash, manufactured flakes, all the way from reduction flakes to pressure flakes to percussion flakes. I said that in the wrong order, of course. I try to act appropriate towards people. How do you put that? How I react. But yeah, they just average a site. That's absolutely right. Yeah, see, Carl's in construction. These huge housing developments and strip malls are disgusting. Yes, they are. Especially when they cover up a good artifact site. And then they want to turn around and hack on guys who dig. We're recovering everything. We're not just digging up 1% of a site and say, oh yeah, we got this all figured out. For me to even assess a site, I have to be through it at least 50%. 50%. We're like maybe through like 25% of Snakeland. And it's a serious multicultural site. But it's like Richard's Blue Ridge videos. I'm going to be making a playlist for them soon because there's a lot to prove from that site. That was a mining material site. That's all they did there was mine. Somewhere there's a spot where they got all that Jeff City chert at right there. They were sitting there making what they had to. Each time they're always going to leave a little something, but it was nothing, never but Etleys and ads. There was never a single Robinson point found there. Which if you go not too far away to the other Etley sites that are just a mile this way or 2 miles that way of Blue Ridge, they have them Robinson points right along with those Etleys. It's like the cucumber videos. There's 8 years of those. And even though Richard won't deny, and he'll even say the last 8 years he's learned so much, there was a lot of things we were all wrong about on a lot of our first videos because we've learned more. And we've paid attention harder to learning more. But there's still a lot you can learn from them videos. People that share that type of digging information, those videos can be learned from for hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't know how long YouTube will ever last, but I think it's important that people that are open enough to add to the circle and share information should do so. Whatever it may be. That's why I have tons of tutorials on YouTube. I mean, that's what's kept us thriving as a human race for eons, is handing down information. That's what's made us better. Once you stop doing that, you're not adding to the better cause. And that's always been one of my objectives. I've talked about why I got on YouTube before and that giveaway video a little bit, and why I came back, and it's because I have too much passion. I'm overly freaking passionate in here about everything that's got to do with these, not just these, but the people that made them, everything that they did in life. That's why if I could have my choice, like say to be a mathematic genius or like the best race car driver, or if I could be the paleo man 10,000 years ago, I'd choose the paleo man. Honestly, I would. Oh, I can't read. Shit. What do you got here? Michael Starr, I guess you're in Farmington, Missouri? Or is that Farmington, New Mexico? I lived in Farmington, New Mexico one time when I was 12 and 13 for about a year. Wish I would have hunted artifacts back then. What would it take to come up and dig sometime with you? Maybe this spring. I'd love to actually meet you, brother. Well, Paleo Hunter, I don't know. I guess you just would have to make a trip and we have to see where we could hunt. Now, I can't just like always take a lot of people to the dirty hole because it's not just mine, you know. It's part somebody else's too. Now, of course, Richard's there because he would take my partner Tim and takes me to any site he's going to go to. And then we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing there, screening all that old dirt without him and that bobcat. And I can't do that by hand. That's just too much dirt for very little. And it'd just take me forever. And I ain't got forever. I ain't got that much oomph in my butt anymore, folks. Richard's Rock House. Hook. I always call him Hook. And actually, my brother Sonora Tim gave him that nickname, Hook, because you can go back into 2012 in his videos, and it would have been before the Artifact show. That was the first year a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but a good group full of people. That's in my video that all come from out of town. And it was Bevel Blade's first trip out here, and he was out here first, or maybe him and Sonora Tim showed out here at the same time, and me and another person, we took Sonora Tim on the creek, and he took Bevel Blade to the tool shed shelter. And it's an overhang. And his first bucket had a frickin' bone fish hook in it. And, well, that kind of stuck with him ever since. Tim give him that, like I said, Tim give him that name. I just like it. For Artifacts, Richard did nothing but fish. Before Artifacts, I did nothing but fish. That was our spare time hobby back then, you know, or whatever you want to call it, your passion. You know, for me, a hobby is like carving something or making something out of wood. You know, but it's all passion to whoever that does it. Oh, I've been enthused by many cucumber videos. That's definitely an amazing sight. That's why I've been there so much and still go back and hardly not find anything because it's just that moment. You know, eventually you are going to find something. I mean, because they did hammer a lot of the good parts of it. But then yet again, there's a lot of trees around there, especially on the B side, that's still holding a lot of points. And all that stuff will be bulldozed one day. And see, that's what's funny. People hated on him so much for them earlier days. The main cucumber, the A side, that thing's been bulldozed to death. Them trees are gone. Gone. Most of them ripped out of there. They're going to turn it all into more places to grow more food to sell at the Amish market. The B side, they're going to do the same thing with it. They're going to doze off all them hills. Gone. They don't care about them rocks at all. So all he did was spend his hard-earned time and strength to recover all them. Yes, a lot of them did go to a private collector, you know. And that's the other thing, you know. A lot of people hate on Richard. Some people have even hated on me. We've sold artifacts. But, you know, there's so much bad dealings that go on in artifacts. I mean, like Sleaze Bay. Sleaze Bay is a joke. There is so much crap artifact on there that's all modern. And some of them ain't even artifacts. They're rocks, and people believe they're artifacts, so they're buying them. I don't hardly get on there and even look at that stuff anymore because it just makes me mad. But you take someone like Richard, he is fulfilling the wishes of guys who buy artifacts because they don't have a lot of places to hunt. They can't get out, whatever. They work a lot, whatever, but they have that money to spend on it. And them guys are spending their hard-earned money on them. So they appreciate them just as much as the person who found them. So to be able to do that for people is kind of a good thing too. Now, me myself, if I would have never been in the financial situation I'm in, I'd have never sold nothing. I'd have had everything. I had everything. I mean, it used to hurt a little bit more in here when I had to get rid of something, but nowadays, like I said, to overcome anything that hinders you, you have to have full acceptance of it, even if you don't like it, and just accept it for what it is, and you move on. Don't keep dwelling on it. Move forward. Get forward. You can't accomplish anything staying in place. You got to move forward. Here read some comments. Probably just talking your ears off. Yeah, I like Zach and Mike, Pine Belt Relics. Paleo Headhunter. Oh, Carl, that's funny. For artifacts, I did nothing but fish too. Yeah, see, I skipped out this whole fall of fishing because I picked my best days to go artifact hunting instead. When we're out there, we only are out there for about 4 hours actually hunting. And then mine's probably more down to about 2.5 or 3 hours because I take a lot of breaks. A lot of breaks. But my driving time, depending on where we're going, is definitely no less than a little over an hour round trip. From my house to Richards and back home, that's an hour. And then we go to the Paw Paw Patch, that's about an hour and 40 minutes. We go a couple other sites, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours of driving. That's just how it is driving around the Ozark. I mean, anyone that lives in any kind of hill country, you know what it's like. You ain't got no straight roads to haul butt on. It just don't work that way. Paleo Hunter, supper's ready. Happy New Year, brother. I don't know if I'll be on here. I'm getting pretty hungry for supper too. I ain't got no old lady go cook mine. I gotta get up and do it myself. I don't have anything prepared. I took enchiladas and made them over last night at my friends Darren and Crystal, who I hunt with sometimes. Hunt with a lot, actually. Like Jamie says, he has to sell some artifacts for money, for more hunting trips, and for extra money. He likes the extra money. Yeah, it's like me. Usually most of the time when I offer artifacts for sale is because I need something done on my blazer, because I need to keep it going. If I ain't got it going, I can't go nowhere. And that really sucks. Ain't nothing worse than being a foot. Being a foot is terrible. Ohio Flint guy, you need one of the mail order brides. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having one of them, Russian wives, one of them girls that likes a little bit of dirt, but clean and knows how to cook, and she can dig out my artifacts and hand them to me. Oh, Yeah, see, it's like sitting up at this couch where so y'all can see me. My back's killing me. You know, most of my time spent on the couch. I don't sit up unless I'm at the computer, or unless I've been laying down reading too long. And I go, hold on. I lay down. My back don't like sitting up for a long time. It's just like it don't like standing in place for a long time. Like when we do that screening at the property, oh man, that hurts me just as bad, if not a little bit worse. Because you're constantly standing in one spot. I mean, all I'm doing is waiting on a bucket of dirt and then pushing some dirt around. You're not doing no moving, you know. It's not like surface hunting where you got to walk and you're constantly walking slow. What's this? We did too, Brooksy, to get into our home. Gotta watch what you do. I'm not sure if I understand that comment, D. Nobody gonna get to my home. I got 4 cameras outside, 2 on each side, night vision and all. Constant record feed. So anybody got any big New Year's plans? Me? my kind of New Year's would just be finding an artifact. Really. Though I haven't decided if I'm going to go out with Darren and them for a little bit, but they're going to the bar, and I'm not really a bar person anymore. You got to spend money to go to a bar, and I don't like that. And then my mom and her boyfriend are having like a little party, so I don't know, I might go there. I'd honestly just rather go find a nice artifact, come home, take a shower, hit the couch, eat some dinner, and fall asleep watching some TV. But I watch a lot of videos on my TV too. Like whether it's my new phone or this older phone, I just cast my videos to my TV, and then I can read people's comments and leave a comment with the phone, and then you just go off to another video. It is awesome. It's great to watch documentaries on too. Ohio Flint guy, I'm gonna quit smoking again. I do that every year. You know, that's the dumbest thing I ever did in my life, was pick these stupid things back up. I went almost 3.5 years without smoking, from 2014 to into summer of 2017, and went through a real stressful situation, and it just picked them back up as a crutch, and I've had a hard time putting them down now, and it's stupid. It is the stupidest thing I've ever done, because I know I could survive without them. But see, like right now, my anxiety's a little high, my pain level's high, which causes your anxiety level to be high, and then you use this as a crutch. You know, it's stupid. It's the most stupidest human mistake I ever made. But ain't that what makes us human? Jamie says he's deer rock hunting for the New Year's. Best wishes, brother. Hope you find some killers or harvest a good one. I didn't get the deer hunt this year, which really kind of stunk, because I really could have used like the deer meat bad. Like me, I have to buy like 4% and 7% ground beef, and that stuff's really high price compared to your 20% fat. But I can't eat that 20% fat stuff. I eat that, I'll be on the floor hating it bad time. Bad. It's like, actually, I'm not supposed to eat over like 20 grams of fat content per day in food. Now, most of the time I do stay around 30, some days a little higher than that. But like, even if I like do a splurge where I like eat a 9-gram fat donut in the morning, you know, For lunch, my sandwich is basically fat-free. For dinner, I come home, I eat chicken and steamed vegetables. You know, there's like 3 grams of fat there, so I still keep it below that. But like, yeah, I'd eat regular beef. I can't eat steaks anymore. Regular steak has way too much fat. They like just tear me up. Hello, Calvin. But SIGs give you something to look forward to every New Year's Eve. Yeah, it's terrible if you're drinking too, because then you're usually smoking more. Hey, Calvin's Corner. Good job, David. That's good you don't smoke. I wish I didn't smoke. Stupid. Yeah, I've thought about. Now, that's how I did quit the first time was I took Chantix for a month and I sucked on an e-cigarette for about 2 weeks and I was just done with it. But they say them e-cigs are real bad and the vaping ain't no better. These definitely ain't no better, but that's a bad thing too. Like my 17-year-old nephew's a vaping. You know, and they got all that flavor crap. And I mean, I guess it's better than them doing actual drugs, but it still ain't no better for them. Around here, all them kids call it the juice, man. You got some juice? That's some juice for my vape. It's silly. Parker boy. I got some artifacts in my last mail call I made today. We'll be posting it later tonight. Good deal, Calvin. I like seeing people send artifacts around. That's good. That's the best part of our YouTube. Is the camaraderie, the sharing, not just by videos and what you find, but you know, it's like when it comes to that, I never want anybody to like ever send me artifacts again. I mean, I have enough artifacts from enough people. I don't ever need artifacts from anybody ever. You know, I have some fantastic other types of gifts from people, you know, where it's just been, it's really overwhelming sometimes, but, you know, like for everything that I could have in my house that I like materially treasure, you know, that I cherish, it's those gifted things that are on the top of that list, you know. And to see other people kind of keep doing that. That's what I hope for future YouTube, you know. After can't get out and hunt anymore and I'm just posting some blabbling videos at home or just watching other people and commenting. And when I'm gone, when we're all gone, you know, I hope this to continue on. That has always been an objective, you know. That's why I've always tried to do my best, especially after coming back, to convey as much appropriateness as possible. Because I don't want people trying to hinder or oppress on what we do. So much of that happens in so many different ways, from not just normal people to the government to wherever you live at. It's ridiculous. And, you know, unless someone's just a total POS, you know, and doing POS things, you know, nobody should ever be hindered on what they enjoy doing, and especially when it comes to collecting artifacts and sharing artifacts. Doesn't matter what social media platform it's on, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I mean, and people are already been hindered on. You have certain states where you're not even supposed to surface hunt. You're not even supposed to pick something up. Indiana, you buy your own land, you pay taxes on it, you can't even do on it what you want. You can't dig up an artifact on it and let somebody know. They'll, what, come take your house, put you in jail, take your land after you paid for it? You paid taxes on it? No, no, not in my book. I won't talk politics a lot, but thank God Missouri is a red state. Missouri will always stay a red state. They believe in our gun rights. People around here fight to the death on that. They're not going to hinder people, hopefully, on artifacts ever, especially on private property, because here, 9/10 of the law is possession of what is yours. That's just how that is. Yeah. Hey, go kick rocks. Oregon is one of them. Yeah. Them frickin' West Coast flake cakes. Pick us a tune. I see that guitar. Ain't no guitar in here, buddy. I never you see that at, Galvin. I ain't no karaoke man like you, buddy. You couldn't get me to sing on camera. Artifacts from the river too. It does suck about out their laws here. Glad we at least can surface hunt. Yeah, you should always be allowed to surface hunt, but people should be allowed to do on their own land what they want to do on their own land. That's government oppression, is what that is. And I'd rather not get into subjects about the government because I'm an independent, because they're all crooks. The whole system needs revamped. It needs to go to term limits for everyone in Congress. And I don't care who says, oh, well, then that person doesn't know the law or whatever. I'm not a politician. I know a lot of the law. You know why? Because I make sure I do. But those people would still, like, of course, have to be voted in by their local peers to their state peers, so on and so forth. But that's where it's been screwing up this country for 100 years, is career politicians and their greedy ass pockets. And I'd really rather not get into that subject. Go kick rock, laugh out loud. Now, I love Bud Jonesy. Don't be picking on him. He's my brother just as much as you are. See, that's the thing about me. I don't care about people's indifferences. When I have an indifference with somebody, unless they press it, I'm not going to. I don't care about it. I'm going to move on. It's something I don't like, so I have full acceptance of it. I just go on, And, compared to YouTube, to like Facebook, especially the past year or two on Facebook, man, everybody's all political and it's one side or the other. And there's so much hypocrisy from both sides. It's ridiculous. And I won't deny, and I'll be completely honest, it has changed my attitude some to what I post. And that may be my own bipolar faultness, or whatever. But if it's something funny, I figure it's got to be better than all that crap they're posting. And you can't believe all that shit. It's just like mainstream news. You can't believe anything that's all out of them either. Half that shit on Facebook is fake. That's my biggest thing. I hate anything fake. I hate fakes. I hate people who try to fake moderns off as ancient, fake a rock as an artifact, someone who pretends you're a friend, but they're fake. That's fake. I don't like fake in any way, shape, or form. I'm not politically correct. The only reason I keep myself to a minimum on here is, like Jonesy said, can't have your channel shut down because they will do that, dang dog Google tube. And I'm not out trying to intentionally offend anybody. But, if I'm put in that position, I will speak my mind, my opinion. But see, when I'm done speaking my opinion, you're allowed to speak yours. If we disagree, fine. Let's agree to disagree. We both said our words. You go your separate ways. You don't sit there and just keep barking back and forth. That's flipping ignorant. You don't get nowhere with that. Nowhere. And so I don't understand that. See, now we've got enough artifacts. And we got me yakking, which may be a dangerous thing. Yeah, you're right, Channel, or Calvin. We do have the freedom of speech, but on any social media platform, you have to watch exactly what you do nowadays. Well, Calvin, we all love finding the broke ones. We love everybody that hunts artifacts loves anything they find. But like myself, I find a lot of brokes. I do. I find a ton of brokes. So I think Hook calls me brokesy. I probably find 20 times the amount of brokes to what I do to whole pieces, if not greater than that. And it's just because I have a lot of different camps to go to and hunt. But, if you watch my older videos, especially my creek videos and some field videos, I show all kinds of brokes, every dang one. But I look for, I don't know what the correct word is, I don't know. Now you got me stumped to exactly like how I want to word something because I don't want to sound stupid, but or mean, I mean, if you don't think I don't love every broke one I find, you see that right there? Those are mostly all brokes. See that right there? Them take weeks, maybe months of studying before they get organized off to where they belong. That's the same thing with over here. I actually know where every single one of them pieces come from, whether they come out of the dirt or they come out of a different spot. And I pick something up and I take it over there for a while and I study it. I've done that with every broke I've ever brought home. And then, like I said, when it comes to recording sites and the same kind of brokes and the same amounts of brokes and all that, that's when those things really start to tell a story. Sorry, I'm closing my windows. It's dark out and I don't like people looking at my house. You can't see my windows in the daylight. Dang, it's almost 6 o'clock, people. How did the dirty hole get its name? Well, I used to call it the dirty little hole. And that was like a joke, kind of. The dirty hole's an AK name, a nickname for its real name, because I can't give its real name out until we're done with the site. Because its real name would be like a landmarker. So that's why I call it the dirty hole. Every time you go there, you're going to get dirty. You're going to get dirty. So next Friday, same time, same channel. Clarence said. Same stupid Batman in front of the camera. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I wish I could get like another light, like a tall stand-up light on this side where it had a little bit more light and I could do it more in the evening, after I eat dinner, like say 7 o'clock when we're going to get more viewers. I mean, trust me, the 30-some people that have stayed here constantly, I highly appreciate you guys to the hilt. I know most of you guys are always going to be the guys that give every one of my videos a thumbs up. You know, a lot of you guys are the ones that comment every video. I mean, trust me, I appreciate the people that watch my videos and everybody that appreciates them. But all them people that I've never, like my niece, she said, you know, give my uncle a thumbs up. I've never asked for somebody ever like give me a thumbs up. If people want to do that, hey, that's cool. That's their thing. I don't do that, but I do have paid attention to it over the years, and everybody that does that, I mean, that just shows how much you guys appreciate what I do, and that keeps me fueled to keep bringing it back. That keeps me fueled. So I appreciate that probably more than any of you really know. You know what? Somebody doesn't tell you how they feel or what they're thinking. How are you supposed to know? I think that is the strangest thing on Facebook. People are like, "Oh, don't be personal about something. Let's just post memes all the time." And I've gotten to where I post a lot of memes. But anyway, that's known me on there for a long time knows I usually always spoke of things in my own words, you know, and whether it's good or bad, if someone's willing to share their situation with you, you can learn so much from that. You can learn a lot from it if you're paying attention to details. Details are everything, whether it's anything in life, psychology, artifacts, anything you do, you know. And I know Jonesy knows what I'm talking about, or Carl, or anyone that's in construction. You know, details are everything. Everything. And, you know, that's probably where some of that comes with for me. You know, besides being naturally bound to art of any type. You know, I mean, I love art of all kinds of type. My favorite place to go when I was a kid, I was more interested in going to the art museum in Chicago than I was the Science and Industry Museum, which I had fun there too, but I guess I should read some comments, see what we got going on here. I'm going to get off here and go make some dinner soon. I'm like hungry. D, keep it clean, Mike. A woman, no watching women's stories. No, I was just talking about if I was going to give mail order bride, you know, I'd be pretty picky, you know. Mill Creek River Relics. Guest speakers on weekly? Well, I kind of doubt that. I mean, there's only so many local hunters that I hang around with, and you know, I don't like to, in some ways, you know, like speak for my friends, but you know, and I know a lot of you guys that watch me watch Richard too. Richard's Rock House, watch Hook, and he don't reply to a lot of comments a lot of times. He will once in a while, you know, but you're not gonna get him in front of the camera like this, and he loves you guys. He loves everybody. He does. He is such a great guy. Everyone has like put a total like judgment misconception on him badly for years. They don't even have a clue of how good of a guy he is. But he has like anxiety worse than I do. He can only like handle people so much, you know, and it's not, you know, so that's why he doesn't comment a lot, or he wouldn't be like on a guest on here. You know, and like Corey, Osage River Fool. Oh yeah, he'd probably love it. He did. It was him and Dane that started the podcast videos, and it was Dane's equipment. So I don't really ever know where that went to. I guess maybe it wasn't get enough people to listen to him, or how much he had to pay out to do it. I don't know what happened there. Oh yeah, them pugs are great dogs. Mr. Wilson and Bailey, I love them. They're awesome. I wish I had some chili waiting on me. I'm hungry. I have to like find something to snack on while I wait on some chicken breast to bake in the oven, and then it takes my steamed vegetables about 20 minutes. Richard's channel is what got me into YouTube, Carl said. Carl, that's what got me into YouTube. Actually, before I had internet in 2010, in 2009, I was going over to a friend of mine, and he's like, man, have you seen these arrowhead hunting videos on YouTube? I'm like, no, what you been watching? He's like, well, you know Richard, don't you? I'm like, yeah, we've known each other for a long time. He's like, well, he's finding arrowheads on YouTube. I'm like, well, let's watch. So we watched them and watched them for a little while, and I thought, damn, all these years I've always thought it was bad luck to carry a camera. Well, now here it's good luck to carry a camera. I want to do that too, you know, and being a passionate person, it just kept leading on, and here we are to this day. Jamie, thank you for watching and commenting, buddy. Drive safe on your way home and have a stellar weekend, buddy, and a good New Year's. That's a good dude right there. Jamie Hutchins, he's a good dude. Known him for a long time on Facebook. Great, great guy. Finds some killer artifacts, too. You have forgot points that I only dream about up there. No, I don't forget a point, Galvin. When it comes to artifacts, especially my own, I don't forget much, anything. You could walk into my house and point at any artifact in a case, and I can show you on a map exactly where I picked it up or dug it from. Exactly. You can go through my boxes of brokes, and I can tell you, you know, there's going to be some of them brokes I've had for a while, but because of what box they're in, you know, I can say, well, yeah, that come out of the big sea of dirt, that come out of the little sea of dirt, but some of them I'm going to know where I picked them up within a few yard radius. Some spots it may be a 50-yard radius, you know what I'm saying? You know, and that was one thing that really prompted me to doing this live video, was a comment that come through, and it was this guy defending Art of My Rock guy, you know, here's my rocks, they're artifacts, and all these people left great comments on there, even Pedestal Man, and his comment was from like a year or two ago, I don't remember when, 8 months ago, something like that, and he's like, these people are just trying to help you. And then these people still reject that. And there's like a half a dozen people out now on YouTube that are like posting their effigy rocks and their maps on a rock and whatever. And then they just don't want no help. And I don't understand that. But, you know, we can't have that run rampant. You know, I mean, if I have to like start sharing their videos more often, because I do. You people don't on YouTube, that on Facebook, you don't know that. If I think someone's trying to pull like some modern shit off on here, I'll post it on Facebook and I'll send as many people to it that want to go to it, you know. I've done that with a few. I'll post it and be like, hey, there ain't something that don't seem right here. You know, what do you guys think? And I'll keep it on my friends list too, where it's not viewable to public. Because it's important to me that things are done right. I mean, I'm not saying I do everything right, you know. There's a lot of things I could do better. But you know, I don't look for acceptance, so I don't understand if these people like are just like looking for people to accept them. They don't have no friends, or you know what the deal is. But you know, if you're being false in some type of way, people are gonna figure that out eventually. You know, and nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. Time tells everything. Time tells everything. Life does get complicated sometimes, too much. Then you add social media on top of it. And oh my gosh, it gets expanded way out there. Completely expanded way out there. It's like, and trust me, everybody has the right to their opinion. Everybody does. And nobody should like be hated on because they have a different opinion than somebody else. But then you have facts. Facts are facts, okay? When it comes to a lot of different things. But it seems like seems like they're obligated to always give their opinion about everything. Like they're obligated, So I hope I don't ever seem like that. I really don't. It doesn't matter if it's on here or on Facebook. I don't want to be obligated to my opinion or anyone for that matter. I don't even stay obligated to myself when it comes to like keeping a perfectly clean house all the time. Ditchwalker. No, I haven't heard from Lone Raven Wolf for a long time, Cal. I don't know what's happened to him. I've been a little concerned about him, but a lot of people that know me real good, death is inevitable. Live for what you have every day, because tomorrow ain't promised. Hey, Leo Hunter, that's why we leave our comments open. Yeah, I leave my comments open, because if I don't like the comment, it's easy to just go to that person's channel, block them, and remove them. Just remove the comment. It's that easy. I like people's comments. I like to know what everybody thinks. And I've always tried through the years to like respond a lot of times to everyone's comments. And nowadays, sometimes I'll get into a position where, it was like them Christmas videos or whatever. Or that last, it may take me a while to come back and comment. One time I might just come through and love everybody's comment because I got something else going on, or, I just, that's what's bad about me. I am terribly bad. It's part of my personality. I'm a very explanatory person. And I've tried to work on that for years, but in some aspects it's never going to change because that's a part of who I am. A lot of people that know me well know that I'm also bipolar. Now, I'm not like a bipolar 1 or a bipolar 2. I'm a little bit different than that. And I actually don't even classify it as a bipolar 3. I'm like someone who runs like 80% of the time, like on a mania high, where most people constantly bounce up and down and stuff. And actually, for like since I was 14 to almost like 40 something, was completely misdiagnosed, which was what they do with a lot of people like that. I'm not like a person that like always constantly has an anger problem or anything like that. And it's just like anything else. You have to learn from it in life, and you have to grow with it and grow from it and use it to your advantage. But that's like where OCD falls in. Mostly anybody that truly has obsessive compulsive disorder has some type of degree of being bipolar. They say actually 1 out of 4 people actually have that. But, it's like addictive personality and obsessive compulsive disorder by professional psychologists and psychiatrists. They're actually one and the same. Now, that's the thing, though. With any type of thing you have like that, psychology-wise, it works to everybody in different degrees, so differently. Some people it's a lot, some people it's a little. Like I said, the degrees are like so much in difference. It's like farther than what I can explain. And it took me a little bit to say that on here. It took me a long time to let other people know that. But it was something that I had to learn to accept. It's who I am. I know what I am. And I'm not ashamed of any of it. And it's propelled me. It has. It has caused me to thrive in life. I see we got a lot of comments going on here. Got somebody new. David Straw. I'm a Gemini, so both my hands are bipolar. Oh, negative comments don't bother me. They really don't, because like I said, see this picture right here? That's that picture, there's nothing there. That's a picture of me sweating you. I couldn't see that either. But when it comes to YouTube, you're completely sharing publicly. So for me nowadays, I think people that are going completely negative, you don't deserve the privilege of what I'm willing to share, because I'm not just sharing like a piece of the dirt and an artifact I find. I'm letting you into my personality. I'm letting you into the biggest part of my life. For me, when people share who they are or anything they do for you, to me personally, that's a privilege. That's what my mother taught me. That anyone that shares anything with you, that is never an obligation, that is a privilege. You should feel privileged they do that. If you don't like it, then you go on. It's the same with videos. You don't like a video, you move on. It's like I watch a wide variety of music. And I mean a wide variety. I don't watch I like some older country, and there's a couple new people that are new that ain't bad, but most of it's rock and roll, some pop music, stuff like that. And you get one video, it's got like 70,000 likes on it, and another, and it has 20,000 thumbs down. It's like, really? You people it made you feel better to thumb down that music video that no one's that person's music is never even gonna notice. It's kind of like a rock video. Does it make you feel better? And actually, I've blocked some people here recently because I noticed their comments on other videos as to how, like one guy, I'll even name him out, Michael Lepowski. And I even noticed here recently he left a comment on one of Silent Rift's digging videos on how he thought it was cool, whatever he found. But I had read comments from him on several videos where he thumbs down every digging video, but he'll thumb up the crick videos. That's him showing he's obligated to his opinion, whether he likes it or not, instead of just moving on. And I personally don't think that's right. I mean, I watch other kinds of stuff on YouTube, and I don't feel like I'm obligated to give my disliking opinion to it. I just move on. So, I don't know. Some people I don't understand. Probably a lot of people don't understand me. Nikki, hi Brooksy, do you leave a offering after you find one? Sometimes I used to do a little offering before I ever found anything. I just don't always show that on camera all the time now. If you watched older videos, I've done it a lot. I kind of try and change up a little bit. That's always the thing with me. I'm always constantly changing a little bit. I'm never always exactly the same. It's like phrases. Like finding finds left behind. That's still a favorite phrase of mine. It's like anybody that's watched YouTube for a long time knows I am, and this is not ego. This is just a fact. No one ever used the word stellar to describe an artifact until I started it. And that's cool to see everyone using that now as a description for an artifact. But there's people that even don't like me that use that word now, And there's even people that say, "Oh yeah, I started doing that. I was posting in groups in 2010 on Facebook." There was no groups in 2010 on Facebook. The first one was Arrowheads, Antlers, and Antiquities. It was first put together in January 2012. Artifact Addictions didn't even come around till almost 2 years later. But Semper Fildus. Yo, what's up? You have left some of the best comments on my videos. I really appreciate you being real. That's all I know how to do, Calvin, is be real. I don't know anything else. Yeah, 8 billion people, no need to try or care. I don't understand that either. Yeah, I'll agree with you, Paleo Hunter. I'm not much up on him either. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, he's a pretty nice buck. You can go watch that video. It's in 2013, about 5 years ago. Well, folks, I need to make some dinner, and it's I really need to go to the bathroom here. So I really appreciate everybody coming and watching and commenting. I hope I didn't sound too stupid at any time. Like again, there's a big difference between me now and my first 4 years of videos. There's a huge difference. That was the thing about being on pain medication. When you're in a lot of pain, it don't make you high, but it did make me a dork, which I'm still a dork. I'm a nerd. I'm just not like a bookworm computer kind of nerd. I'm a rock nerd. I'm a fish nerd. I'm a hunt nerd. That kind of stuff. But I'm sure people that pay attention, it's just my memory is a lot better now. Some of my thinking, I wasn't never like out there at any time, but everything's a lot more clear now. I'll just put it that way. I'm back to who I was, mentally wise, if of course better and stronger than I was before I had my accident in 2006. Thank you, D. Thanks, Carl. Clarence, Mike, Robert Rice. Now, Robert Rice, are you on Facebook? Have I noticed you on there? Foothills Flint. No, he's on here. Later, David. I'll have to watch for you and send you a friend request. Robert Rice. I've known you for a while on here. I usually don't let just anybody onto my friends list on Facebook because I am personal on there. And then like I said, I kind of like balance in between the good and evil of the good and evil people on there, you know. So I like try to push, you know, keep people thinking. If I ain't making them laugh, I'm trying to keep people thinking, you know. That's the thing. I think some people just don't think enough. I don't think you can really overly think anything. I mean, you can, but Rusty Dreams, Happy New Year to you too, buddy. Thanks, Paleo Hunter. Well, I hope you all have a good evening. If I don't shut that camera down and get to the bathroom, I'll probably pee down my leg. Jonesy, brother, thank you. You'll always make you my moderator on these videos. Hope everybody has a good weekend. I hope they'll get out and find something. Look at that killer thing right up there, would you? Nice, Dalton. He finds some new Dixons from Snake Land. Needs a couple Dixons right there. See, I got rocks everywhere. Just everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. That was my camera backing. Okay, y'all. Later. Love you guys.